Okay, this is video number 9 in the Jefferson Flats series. We have built our pipe networks, including pipes and structures, and we used a pipe calculator to figure out what our pipe sizing needs to be, and I've highlighted those pipes that needed to be upsized based on my calculator. And I did go through my drawing and swap all of the appropriate pipes that needed to be upsized. So, for example, if I highlight this pipe and look at the pipe properties, down here at the bottom of the part properties, we can see the part size is a 12-inch concrete pipe. So a lot of my pipes could stay as 12 inches. But if I look downstream a little ways and look at the pipe properties, now I'm looking at a 30-inch concrete pipe. So just evidence that I actually went through and swapped all of my parts. So now my pipe networks, and I do have 5 separate sort of sub-networks on this site. I did go through and resize all those pipes. So the next thing we're going to have to do moving forward is figure out where these pipes need to go vertically. The major constraint in this project is going to be that these pipes need to maintain 7.5 feet of cover at all times. We could try to automate that by creating a rule set and then applying that rule to all of these pipes. But I'm going to go through it manually. And what I need to do to manually set the elevations of these pipes is I need to create a bunch of alignments that follow these pipe networks so I can create profiles that show the development surface that we're working with, as well as the pipe and the structure. So I'm going to go through and start creating some alignments. You could use polylines to connect a bunch of your pipes together and create alignments from that. But I'm going to go straight for this alignment creation tools option. And these alignments, I'm going to try to name them in such a way that I can sort of keep them straight in my head. And so whether that's alignment, A, or in this case, maybe I name it after the structures. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will go through and say I want to start with HVPLN to HVNPL3 and on down the line and towards my outlet. So I'm going to try to name each alignment appropriately. So I'll go back into my alignment creation tools here, and I'll start with HVPLN, and then maybe I'll just add the name of my last structure or the outlet or something like that. So I'm just going to say to out, HVPLN to out. And doesn't really matter what sort of alignment we're going to use there. I'm going to eventually turn these alignments off. But for right now, I'm also going to leave my starting stations at 0. I'm not going to put it on a site. I'll use a basic style. And then I'm going to select an alignment layer. And because these are not road alignments, I want to keep them separate from this C-road layer. So I'm actually going to create a new layer. And maybe I'm going a little fast here. So first thing I did was I clicked on this, this layer button next to my alignment layer, which brings up this object layer window. I'm going to click on this layer button again. And here's the layer selection. I can pick an existing layer, but I'm going to create a new layer. The layer name, I'll call it Pipe Alignments. And notice I put an underscore in front of that layer name, so it'll put it towards the top of my list alphabetically. I don't really care what color it is for right now. White is fine. It's not going to be locked. Yes, it's going to be on. No, it's not going to be frozen. So that looks okay. And now if I find that layer, here's the pipe alignments layer. I need to make sure that's selected, and I can click OK. And then I can click OK again. So now I have that new alignment layer where our alignments are going to show up. And then for labels, I really don't need any labels at all. So I'm going to select no labels, and then I'll click OK. And now I get this alignment layout tools, and a lot of options here. You know, we can make curves and all that sort of thing, but really all I need are fixed lines between 2 points. So I'm just going to pick this this line drop down and select fixed line 2 points. And now I'm ready to start clicking through my drawing. So I'm going to click at the center of these structures, and then I can continue on. So I'm just going to click through, and notice it is ending that command every time. So you'll have to click back at your starting point or at the ending point to start your new segment. So there I've clicked, it's ended the command. I have to click on that end point to continue on. And there is a snap there. It's snapping to the center of this structure. And I'll continue it here to the end of my pipe. And then I've escaped out of that command. So here now I have one complete alignment. And notice it collects most of the pipe along the way, but there are a few branches that are not part of that alignment. And I'm actually going to create a separate alignment for each branch, and it might be a little redundant here, but I'm going to again go into the alignment creation tools, and I'm going to change the name. This time I'm going to start with this structure here, which I have named HV North PL6, and I'm going to say that goes to, again, the outlet. So I'm going to keep a center line, no site, basic style. I'm going to select that new layer we created though, which was pipe alignments. And then I can click OK. So I'm going to put it on that pipe alignments again with no labels. And I just want fixed lines. So I'm going to start with this structure, and I really am going to duplicate that part of the alignment that I'd already created, so that when I create a profile, I can capture the entire network downstream of whatever structure I start at. So that may be redundant for you. You don't necessarily have to do that, but that's what I'm going to do for this video. So again, let me finish this alignment here, and I'll just end it at the same place as my first alignment, and then I can close this window. So now if I go back and look, I have, let me zoom in here, I have the first alignment I created, and you can see the grip edits along the way, and the second alignment I created, and you can see those grip edits along the way. So the majority of those two alignments overlap. You don't have to do it that way, but I'm going to show you why I did it that way, because I'm going to create a surface profile for each of those alignments. So now I have to find this first alignment that I created, and I'm going to select the development surface and then add that to my profile down here. It's going to sample the entire alignment. So now I can click Draw in Profile View, and you know, we can change some of these. You can change the naming scheme here. I'm just going to select the major grids so I have less to look at, and I'll quick run through all of my options here, but I'm going to leave it as an automatic station range, automatic profile view height, just to start. This display option, I'm going to leave that alone. I do want to see, though, a pipe network along the way, and I have all of those pipes are on this storm network, so I'm going to select storm. But you can also see Well, I have a lot of pipes in that network, so I don't want to show absolutely every pipe along the way. And I'm actually going to go back in and probably add pipes and structures manually after I've built the profile. But if you want to try to pick through this list and uncheck everything, obviously you're more than welcome to do that. I'm going to leave it off for now. I'll go through. I don't like any data bands for now, and I'm not going to hatch it, so I can create profile view. And then just be aware wherever you are clicking here, the grid for this profile is going to show up to the right of your cursor. So for this profile, I actually clicked with my cursor right down here in the lower left corner, and everything populated to the right of my cursor. So if I want to sort of have these to line up, I can click down here and notice the profile grid came out to the right of my cursor. So just be careful where you place these things so you're not overlapping other profiles. And you can see here is my the development topo surface. So this is that surface. And then I can go back and add a bunch of pipes and structures to that profile. So if I selected all of these parts along the way, I think it's going to let me add them all at once, hopefully. I'm just going to select all of the parts, all of the pipes and structures that follow that particular alignment, all the way to the end of the alignment. Careful on what you are selecting there. So that is all of the stuff that follows this alignment that I want to see in the profile. If I right click, I can select draw parts in profile view, and then it will ask you select the profile view. Notice the prompt in your command line. So if I click on this profile view, now I can see all of my structures and all of the connecting pipes. So at this point, I'm ready to make sure now that I have 7.5 feet of cover on each of these pipes. And like I said, I'm going to go through and do it manually, but if you want to try to create a rule set that that says, you know, keep 7.5 feet of cover, you're more than welcome to do that. But I wanted to at least show the manual method for creating an alignment and creating these profile views. I will, in a video to come, I will go through and make sure that I've got 7.5 feet of cover for the entire alignment. So we'll take that up in the next video.